Welcome back to Advice for Ages, where we dive into stories and wisdom from amazing people who make a difference. I'm your host, Corbin Ebert, and today I'm super excited to introduce you to someone who's not only a talented rapper, poet, and DJ, but also a true leader in his community. Our guest today is Cash Hollistah, an artist who uses his platform to inspire positive change from hosting block parties to his hometown to providing scholarships for young creatives. In this interview, we'll be exploring his journey, his influences, the advice he has for teens like us, plus you'll hear about how music, family, and the power of finding your purpose shaped his life. Stick around, there's much to learn from this conversation. Now let's jump into this interview with Cash. Welcome, Cash. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me first and foremost. I'm a rapper, poet. I work in the community. Those are the kind of things I think most people know me for, as well as DJing.
Man, wow, you're pretty busy, it sounds like. What do you do for free time, if you get any?
If I get any. I think for free time, really, for me, is just kind of laying around, hanging out with my daughters. That's pretty much.
You said you're involved in your community. What are some of the things you do with community?
One of the things that I do is like an annual community block party called Daddy Bud. Daddy Bud was my grandfather. And my grandfather used to do community block parties for free, invited everybody out, fed them like hot dogs, hamburgers, drinks, all on his own dime. And so a couple years ago, I wanted to redo that tradition. So I started that back up on the north end of town. And so that's something that I do just for the city to come out for free. And we just, we have a good time. I do that as well as I have a scholarship for high school seniors. If they're wanting to pursue art or pursue, college, and they blend their arts with community work, I give them a little money for that too. Yeah, that's some of the things I do.
Cool. And about the scholarship, did you choose the kids who want to pursue musical arts because you relate to them, I assume, since you're a rapper, or?
Well, it's not even just musical art, it's just art of any kind. So that could be visual arts, so painting, drawing, graphic design. That could also be performing arts, so that's ballet, any type of dance. It doesn't have to just be rapping, but just art, period. So that's how I go about that.
We've heard a little bit about what you do now and who you help, and let's get into the rest of our questions. What was your life like when you were a 14-year-old?
I was into sports pretty heavy. So like basketball and football were kind of my things. You can find me just kind of hanging out with the fellas, really just doing those type of things. But then I was also into music as well. If I wasn't doing that, then I was in my room like writing raps and stuff like that. So that was kind of like my time as a 14-year-old.
Did your friends share that same energy for rapping that you did?
No, they're definitely more sports oriented than I was. I mean, I love sports, but music was like the thing. That was like my driving force. I think a few of them could rap, but it wasn't something that they pursued seriously. So I was the only one out of my whole crew that kind of pursued that for real.
Do you still hang out with those same friends, or?
Not really. I mean, every time, I think when reunions pop up, or if I happen to be in their town or something like that, we'll probably talk, but nah. The funny thing is when you're going to find out once you graduate high school, a lot of people that you're friends with, you're probably not going to be friends with past high school, just because life is going to take you guys in separate directions.
And I assume did you enjoy music class since you enjoyed rapping, I assume, or?
Yeah, music class was cool. It was cool, like, being part of a musical family. Like, so in addition to rapping, I also play drums.
Oh, nice.
And my sister plays drums. She sings and plays guitar and piano. My dad plays bass. My mother used to sing. My brother sings as well. That was just a natural extension. Music class just kind of taught me the mechanics of music because I was more a person that played by ear. But then music kind of taught me how certain things go and what certain things were.
So music helped you. And then what other subjects helped you?
As far as like my career into rap, it was definitely English. So creative writing specifically. It wasn't until I was in high school when a teacher kind of taught me, she showed me some things that sort of opened my ideas up. Opened me up to pursuing rap for real, but then also just seeing that like a lot of my favorite rappers that I was listening to at the time were using literary devices that she was teaching in class. So like onomatopoeia, metaphors, similes, all that good stuff. She was showing me, hey, some of the people that you're listening to, because I was always the kid with the headphones on. I was always listening to music. She would show me that these rappers are using these same devices. And so it was like, oh, wow. And I was like, man, this opened my eyes up to what it could be for me as far as music goes, and made me pursue music seriously. So definitely my English teacher was responsible for that.
And during that time, did you learn any skills that you think you still use today, like the literary devices?
Yeah, it affects how I write raps today. I believe that, yeah, I trace everything back to that particular class. So how I write now, my approach to rap and rhyme and schemes and things of that nature is all due to those classes that I took.
Is there anything you wish you would have done differently throughout high school or middle school?
I think probably just paid more attention. And then also like not be so concerned about what other kids think, like being more secure in like what I wanted to do and like my passions, and not necessarily worried about like even with my friends. Everybody has their own goals, they have their own dreams, and they, the ones that support you, that's who you keep around. So probably would have done that, kept people around that would have at the very least support.
Now, some of the things that I researched that you said you did in the community was you are on the board member of the Kansas Music Hall of Fame. That is alone impressive, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been on the board of directors for the Kansas Music Hall of Fame for about 4 years. Actually, this coming year, 2025, will be the 20th year anniversary of the Hall of Fame. Being able to put people in the Hall of Fame, in the Kansas Music Hall of Fame, and be able to shine light on musicians and artists. Being able to shine the light on musicians and artists from our state has been awesome. Learning about the history, finding out that of some people and artists that are from here that I had no idea. That's been fun.
What are some of your favorite artists from here?
Some of my favorite artists from here, so Janelle Monáe off top. Janelle Monáe is from Kansas City, R&B singer. She's also an actress too, and I think she's one of the best live performers. Knowing that she's from here, that's something to definitely hang my hat on and be proud of. Melissa Etheridge, she's an old school rocker. I wouldn't say, well, old school to y'all, but she's a rock and roll artist that's from Leavenworth originally, over in the east side of Kansas, who's really, really good as well. And so there's a few others. Tech Nine is in the Hall of Fame. He's from Kansas City. Yeah, so those are some of my favorites.
And some of your other events you do, like One Mic, sound pretty cool, even though they were a while ago. Could you tell us a little bit about that one too?
Yeah, so like one of the things, I guess it was more of a community thing, but it was really trying to do something for the poetry community. There wasn't really an outlet for poets to just express themselves. And so what I wanted to do was put a forum together where, poets can come and get their poems off. If they did raps, a cappella, do that too. I had a feature poet come as well as a music guest. And one of the cool things about it was that we were able to expand the network, just not even here in Salina, but just outside of Kansas to Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska. We had poets from Nebraska coming, poets from Oklahoma, as well as Kansas City, Missouri. And there was a network for about a good 6-7 years. We had that going, and it was a really good thing. And so, yeah, it's one of the better things I feel like that I've done.
Nice. Yeah, that sounded really interesting. And then, what about your music career? How has that been going?
It's been pretty much non-existent for a while because I've been doing a bunch of community things, a bunch of other things like DJing was kind of taking up the majority of my time. But this coming year, I'll be getting back into music a lot more because I do feel like I have some things left to say in that regard. But yeah, right now, music's been pretty much at a standstill for a while, but we're getting back into it.
Back when you did perform music, did you have any ways how did you get yourself to write the music? Did you sit down and write lyrics or?
Yeah, for me, how I normally write is I would get like beats first. So friends, like I have a lot of friends that make beats, and so they would send me beats first. And if I liked it, I would take the beat, kind of put the concept, the title together, what I wanted to talk about, and then from there, I just wrote. My writing approach is a little different than most. Most people will probably start at the top, work their way down. Me, I would start from the bottom and work my way up. That's kind of how I would write my music. And so it's very rare that I would write something without the beat. I needed the beat first. And so that's kind of how I go.
If you ever did write it without the beat, how did it change your music? Could you distinctly tell?
Yeah, because I think when it comes to writing to the beat, like you're trying to fit the lines into the beat and have a certain tempo as you're rapping. Never wanting to rush lines, never wanting to sound garbled or jumbled. A lot of times when I would write, if I were to write without the music, I would write write it, but then like once I find a beat, and then I would find that, okay, this line, even though I wrote it this way, I'm going to need to add in a few words so that it can go in line with the beat. That's how it would change. Just certain spots where I would have to add in or take out stuff. Like you don't want to put a whole bunch of words into something, and unless you're rapping fast. I'm not really trying to do that. So
lastly, how has family influenced your music?
So for me, my family is, like I said before, huge musical influence. And so that's definitely been a big part. And so coming from that, it's like, okay, well, it's like something that you're kind of born to do. Yeah, that's sort of been a huge impact on me. And it's still to this day, they're really huge influences on kind of how I approach music, how I record even. And trying to continue the legacy my youngest daughter sings. And so just trying to keep that legacy of music alive in the family.
Last question for today is, if you had a billboard that every 14-year-old would see, what would you want it to say?
What I would say is, once you find your purpose in life, go do it. What I mean by that is, once you figure out the thing that you're super passionate about, the things that you feel like you need to do or that you were put on this earth to do, go do that. Don't listen to any naysayer or anybody that's, being negative about your dream or your passion or whatever. Just go do it. Because you're supposed to go do it. If that's been put on your heart to go do, that's been, in your dreams for years and years and years. And you may not know right now. It may take you until you get out of high school to figure it out. If you have it now, that's awesome. But once you figure it out, go do it.
I like that. That's really good. Well, thank you for joining us today, Cash. I definitely learned quite a few things, and I hope everyone else did too. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
All right, man. Appreciate it.